Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube page. We're going to tackle some college football here, more specifically the Arkansas coaching situation. If you haven't heard, Jeff Long, the athletic director at Arkansas, wasted no time almost immediately after Arkansas's loss to LSU yesterday. He did fire John L. Smith, who will not be retained and will not become the permanent coach at Arkansas. And as has been swirling for months, are potential replacements for John L. Smith. And now that the season is over and Smith has officially been removed from his duties, we thought we'd just discuss some of the top candidates we're hearing. We've read Arkansas message boards, Arkansas websites, and some other pretty credible sources. And we have a list of four guys we think that it'll really come down to. So we're just going to list them, give our thoughts, and we're interested to hear what you think as well. First one who I think is an interesting name is Gary Patterson. You know, defensive coach, very respected coach in coaching circles. Some of the reasons why I think he wouldn't come, he worked very hard to get TCU to a big conference, and they're finally there. So for him to jump ship now to what would be a better job, no doubt, may be a little bit puzzling. He has been a candidate for several jobs over the last several years and has turned them all down. So in the back of our mind, we think that TCU is where he'll be. But keep in mind, he's dealt with a lot of things this year at TCU that he's never dealt with before. And what I mean by that is discipline plot problems and his players basically acting out. And sometimes that stuff, along with problems with grades and getting in trouble off the field, that kind of stuff can wear down a coach big time. And has he had enough? Will he be enticed by the fact that Arkansas is an SEC job? The SEC is the best conference in the country, and not to mention Arkansas with the talent they have on the roster. Maybe the job will be appealing to him. The second name that we've been hearing and that we actually are really intrigued by this name is Charlie Strong of Louisville. One thing Charlie Strong has is the SEC pedigree. All right, he was the defensive coordinator at Florida. He's right now at Louisville. In the Big East, Louisville, any Big East job for that matter, is definitely not a destination job. This is where I want to end up. I want to be in the Big East. Absolutely not. I think what Arkansas has going for it as far as Strong goes is Strong probably wants an SEC job, but I'm sure he'd rather not be in the same division as Florida. This would give him the ability to come to the SEC, to be in the SEC West, and look, it'll be a step up in school, it'll be a step up in program, it'll be a step up in tradition, and I'm sure it'll be a step up in pay. It'll be interesting to see if Louisville stays in the Big East or leaves. If Strong knows Louisville's now going to go to a different power conference, does that make him maybe more likely to stay at a place like Louisville? Time will tell, but I think that's a very good option for Arkansas, especially with his defensive pedigree. Another name that we've been hearing, and a name that, if we're Arkansas, this is the guy we're going after, is James Franklin from Vanderbilt. Isn't it crazy to think that 2 years ago, or a little more than that now, 2 years ago actually, yeah, when Maryland was going to choose its new coach, James Franklin was their offensive coordinator, and instead of hiring him, they went out and hired Randy Edsall. If you look at where Maryland's program's been since then and where Vanderbilt's program is now, I think that decision is definitely highly questionable, to say the least. Derek Dooley can attest to James Franklin's coaching prowess. He basically ended the Derek Dooley era with a win versus him this year. For Vanderbilt to be 7-4 may not seem like much, but for those of you who follow college football, you know that a 7-4 Vanderbilt team, very rare, and James Franklin was the guy who made that happen. They're bowl eligible, and look, he was a hot name last year as well for coaching jobs. We'll think he'll be even a hotter name today. He's used to the SEC landscape. He has recruiting ties in the SEC landscape. These are all benefits for him. He'll be shifting over to the Western Division of the SEC, but again, he's familiar with the players on other teams. He's familiar with the coaches on other teams. And we just think, given the situation that Arkansas can't whiff, what I mean by that is they can't make a big mistake with this coach hire. And we think Franklin is the best coach available and also the safest choice available. So he'd be the guy we go with. Another guy, the fourth guy we want to throw out there is Jim Mora from UCLA. Ironically enough, Jim Mora is the guy that Petrino replaced in Atlanta after that whole situation down there in Atlanta. Petrino replaced Mora. We'll see how this plays out with Mora. He had a very good season at UCLA. He has, obviously maybe making inroads as far as recruiting goes in Southern California. That makes it very hard to leave an area like that. Mora, though, having a sense of football, knows that the SEC is a better conference. Does he like being at UCLA? And that would, impact him even wanting to leave. Who knows? We do know he's a West Coast guy, so maybe he'll just stand pat at UCLA. But again, an intriguing name. So again, Charlie Strong, James Franklin, Gary Patterson, Jim Mora Jr. Those are four names that we feel Arkansas could be or should be targeting in their head coaching search. What do you think? Who do you think they should go after and why? Hit us up on the comments and hit us up on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. That's at SNewsAnalysis. Thanks, guys.